Hey there guys, welcome to Peace Through Truth. Now, I usually like to try to stick to hoax busting and things that I can prove pretty easily, visually, things of that nature, just to prove that we're being lied to. So I don't really like to delve into just going over articles that much, although I've been doing it more and more recently, and I do apologize. But I saw this article and I couldn't resist doing a quick piece on it. Hopefully we can keep this under 5 or 6 minutes. Now this is the actual link that was in my fascist book feed. And this is the picture with the caption, obviously, U.S. military eases uniform rules to allow turbans and beards. So that was pretty good clickbait for me. I had to click on that. Click, 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 click. And the link brings us over to nobody's favorite, theguardian.com. Now, it says, new U.S. military guidelines have opened the way for service members to wear religious clothing such as turbans or skull caps while on duty, the Department of Defense has announced. The guidelines, published on Wednesday, also allow for facial hair, body art, and other expressions of religious belief. It is not a blanket permission, however. Requests for dispensation from stated uniform policy are to be reviewed on a case-by-case basis. The military counts thousands of Muslims, Sikhs, Buddhists, Wiccans, and members of other religious groups among its ranks. The groups have protested against the exclusion of religious apparel, saying it forces them to choose between their religious beliefs and a desire to serve. Anyway, to be approved, changes in apparel or presentation must not impair the operation of weapons, pose a health or safety hazard, or interfere with other military equipment such as helmets, flak jackets, or wetsuits, according to the guidelines. So, I mean, if you're an infantry person or have to wear a helmet at any given time, you know, this is pretty much null and void, but, well, supposedly. But the new policy states that military departments will accommodate religious requests of service members unless a request would have an adverse effect on military readiness, mission accomplishment, unit cohesion, and good order and discipline, said Pentagon spokesman Lieutenant Commander Nathan J. Christensen. The Sikh American Legal Defense and Educational Fund said the rules did not go far enough. This is an expansion of the waiver policy that is decided person by person, its director Jagjeet Singh told the Washington Post. It does not open doors and say you can apply as a Sikh American and serve your country fully. The Sikh Coalition collects the stories of Sikhs who have won the right to wear turbans and beards on duty. The first was Major Kamalajit Singh Khalsai, a doctor and Afghanistan combat veteran who was granted a religious accommodation by the U.S. Army in October 2009. He's working in an operating room where he's going to have his head wrapped anyway, so that makes sense, you know. Under a helmet, I could see that being all right, but you're not going to be able to use your communications very well. You have to wear, you know, a headset. So anyway, there's definitely parts to this I agree. You know, like I said, you shouldn't have to take a bullet for your country if you can't at least rep your religion. But what I really wanted to get at here, my point is, this opens the door further to the Islamification of America, which, in all honesty, I really don't think most people are even aware of. And they've been pretty sneaky about it, the powers that be. So I just like to bring forth a few examples. Now, we all know One World Trade Center. And I live in Florida, and I've only seen New York City one time from a distance when I was a child. And when I think of One World Trade Center, this is how I always would think of it. This is the pictures that me living in Florida that I had access to, basically, you know, in books and newspapers and whatnot. But in actuality, from what I'm told, One World Trade Center really looks like this. Now, that's not a whole lot different, but I know you notice the difference. And what does that remind you of? possibly a minaret of some sort. It's just strange to me because you don't really see the whole ball on ball on ball thing in American architecture. But when it comes to the 9/11 World Trade Center rebuilt into One World Trade that was allegedly knocked down by 19 Muslim hijackers, you get the ball on ball Muslim style minaret thing, which is, it's only really missing the Baphomet horns, you know, the damn crescent moon. You slap the crescent moon up there, you're good to go. It just, that amazes me. And the only explanation as to why they would put a minaret, a Muslim style minaret on the top of One World Trade Center, was so that Muslims wouldn't knock it down again. And that is such a BS excuse, right? That's horseshit. It really is. But that was the best that the opposition could come up with. That was the best that they could state to me, was that in order to keep the Muslims from knocking it down again, they had to make it a mosque. And if you look it up, mosques are supposed to be the tallest building in the community, in a Muslim community. So this is literally, One World Trade Center is literally now a mosque. If you didn't know that. Moving on to the next example. Again, me being from Florida, I am not really exposed to these sites very much, but I see them in friends' posts and whatnot when they take pictures next to this crap, and I'm really blown away by it, because here at the very foot of that One World Trade Center, you have the fountain, which is a cutout of black stone or granite or whatever the hell that is, in the courtyard there. Now, what do the Muslims march around on their pilgrimage to Mecca? They march around this big black cube. Now, say what you will. I know I'm crazy, conspiracy theorist and all that, but to me this is clear Islamification of America. Now, the two towers, the Twin Towers that were knocked down, were built back up into one, and the fact that there's a minaret-style mosque, or a mosque-style minaret on top of it, is strange enough. But then you take this black cube, and that black cube, and you put that together. That's, are these coincidences, guys? Do you think they're coincidences? Because I really honestly don't believe much in coincidences. Now, moving on. And last but not least, I don't know if anybody else has started to get things like this in any of their other advertisements, but I'm starting to see things like this advertised on Fascist Book. Now, honestly, to tell you the truth, these things look comfortable as fuck. I don't know about the Jerusalem Cruisers, but the pants look pretty comfortable. Wouldn't wear them out, that's for damn sure. Probably wouldn't wear them around an open flame or whilst cooking. But they look pretty comfortable, right? Now, to me, I'm a Caucasian male, 30 years old, okay? This isn't really something in my geographical area that would be marketed to someone like me. Facebook uses algorithms to determine a market, and I am so far out of this target demographic here for this that I'm left with the only possible explanation being that they're forcing this kind of stuff on everybody. Undoubtedly, there'd be someone that's going to buy this, okay? Now, if you're operating any kind of machinery, a drill, anything like that, these things would be extremely hazardous. So they're not very practical, and they're certainly not economical for the corporations to make. With all that extra fabric, they could make 10 pairs of skinny jeans. But there's another reason for this, guys, and I don't know if if anybody's aware of it, and that's why I just wanted to make this quick video. But for time's sake, I'm going to cut it short there. All right, guys, I know I went about twice as long as I wanted to there, but I definitely wanted to touch base on this issue. If there's any other examples that you know of right off the top of your head as to the Islamification of America, if you will, and I'm not talking about bigoted stuff, guys. Don't be assholes. I'm talking about underhanded, subconscious, subliminal agenda and things of that nature. I really don't want to see anything outright racist on the comments there. That shit ain't cool. So anyway, if you got something for me, go ahead and leave it down there in the comments. I'd definitely like to follow this video up if there's anything worthwhile. And as always, thank you for your time. And if you have not already, please like and subscribe.